June 7th, 2025. The sun is already blazing and the air feels thick with possibility and nerves. I stand outside Northwood High, clutching my backpack straps, trying to look like I belong here. But inside, my stomach is a knot of nerves. Dear Diary, Northwood High is still a maze. Every hallway looks the same, and the lockers stretch on forever. Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever figure out where everything is, or if I'll just keep wandering in circles. Even after a few weeks, I get lost in the halls. I try to memorize the posters and the classroom numbers, but it's like the school shifts around me when I'm not looking. I keep my head down and hope no one notices how out of place I feel. The cafeteria is the worst. So loud, everyone in their groups. The noise bounces off the walls, and it feels like everyone already has their friends, their inside jokes, their place. I scan the room for a friendly face, but mostly I just see backs turned and tables full. I usually sit alone by the window pretending to read. Sometimes I watch the trees outside and imagine I'm somewhere else. Homework's already piling up, and I wonder if I'll ever catch up, or if I'll always be a step behind. Math is a mess, but I like English. Numbers blur together, but stories make sense. I lose myself in books, and for a little while, I forget how new and overwhelming everything feels. I want to do well. Mom and Dad are counting on me. They keep telling me it'll get easier, that I'm brave for starting over. I try to believe them, even when it feels impossible. Sometimes it's just too much. The pressure, the noise, the feeling that I'm always one wrong turn away from being completely lost. I wish I could just blend in, or at least find someone who gets it. And okay, there's this boy, Jake, from history. He sits 2 rows over and always seems to know the answer. He laughs at the teacher's jokes, and somehow he makes the class feel a little less intimidating. He has a nice smile, the kind that makes you feel like maybe you're not invisible after all. Sometimes I catch him glancing my way and I wonder if he notices me too. Sometimes he looks over and my heart flips. I try to act cool, but I probably just look awkward. Still, it's a tiny spark of hope in my day. It's silly, but it makes the newness a little less scary. Even a small crush is something familiar, something I can hold on to when everything else feels strange. In all this chaos, it's something to hold on to. Maybe tomorrow I'll say hi, or maybe I'll just keep hoping from a distance. Either way, it helps. Maybe things will get better. For now, I'll keep trying one day at a time, and hope that soon Northwood High won't feel quite so big and unfamiliar. It started small. Jake talked to me after class, helped me pick up my books. We chatted about homework. It felt normal, but Mia saw us. She hangs around Jake a lot. Later, I heard her laughing with her friends, glancing at me. The next day, whispers followed me everywhere. She's obsessed with him. So desperate. I tried to ignore it, but it spread fast. Suddenly, I was the girl after Jake, the one Mia didn't like. People stared, giggled. Jake started avoiding me. That hurt more than the rumors. I felt exposed, like everyone was watching. It was awful. School became a place I dreaded. Every morning, the thought of walking through those doors filled me with anxiety. The once familiar halls now felt cold and unwelcoming, echoing with the laughter of people I no longer felt connected to. I walked with my head down, wishing I could disappear. It was like I was invisible, but at the same time, I felt like everyone was watching, judging, whispering behind my back. Each step felt heavier than the last. Jake wouldn't look at me. The silence between us was louder than any argument. I kept hoping he'd say something, anything, but he just turned away, and that hurt more than I expected. That tiny hope I had, gone. The loneliness was huge. My grades slipped. I stopped caring about assignments, and even the subjects I used to love felt meaningless. It was like a fog had settled over my mind. I couldn't focus. Everything felt pointless. Teachers' voices faded into the background, and I just stared at my notebook, unable to write a single word. I felt like I was falling behind and no one even noticed. I'd come home and hide in my room. My bed became my only safe place, where I could escape from the world, even if just for a little while. I didn't want to talk to anyone, not my family, not my friends. Sometimes I cried, even though it felt stupid. The tears would come out of nowhere, and I hated myself for being so emotional. But I couldn't help it. The sadness just wouldn't let go. It was more than just a boy. It was like I was failing at everything. Every little thing felt overwhelming, like I was drowning in expectations I couldn't meet. I started to wonder if I'd ever feel normal again. One night, I broke down over homework. The pressure built up until I couldn't take it anymore. I stared at the pages, but nothing made sense. I felt completely defeated. The words blurred, and I just sobbed. My tears stained the paper, and I wondered if anyone would ever understand how hard it was just to keep going. Why me? What did I do? I kept asking myself those questions, searching for answers that never came. I felt like I was being punished for something I couldn't even name. I felt so lost, so alone. It was like I was trapped in a bubble, watching life go on around me while I stayed stuck in the same dark place. I just wanted it all to stop. I wished for the pain to end, for the silence to break, for someone to notice that I was struggling, but most of all, I just wanted to feel like myself again. Then, something shifted. It was subtle at first, like the faintest change in the air after a storm. I was used to moving through the halls unnoticed, my footsteps echoing in the empty corridors, but that day felt different. There was a sense that maybe, just maybe, I wasn't as alone as I thought. Chloe from English class saw me in the library. She didn't just glance past me like everyone else, her eyes actually met mine, and she paused, as if she recognized something familiar in me. She just smiled, a real kind smile. It wasn't forced or polite, but genuine, the kind that makes you feel like you matter, even if only for a moment. The next day at lunch, she sat at my table. I was surprised, no one ever did that before. I almost thought she'd made a mistake. "Is this seat taken?" she asked. I shook my head, barely trusting my voice. She unpacked her lunch, her movements calm and unhurried, as if she had all the time in the world to spend with me. We sat in a comfortable quiet. It wasn't awkward or tense, just peaceful, like we both understood that words weren't always necessary. Then she asked about my book. Her curiosity felt sincere, and for the first time in a long while, I wanted to share something about myself. We talked about stories, not rumors. We traded favorite authors and laughed about plot twists, letting the conversation drift wherever it wanted to go. It was the first time I felt seen. Chloe became my anchor. We started studying together, and suddenly the library wasn't such a lonely place anymore. She's funny, smart, and never brought up the drama unless I did. She just listened, never judging, always patient, letting me set the pace for what I wanted to share. Having one person made all the difference. It was like finding a lifeline when you're drifting, a reminder that you're not as invisible as you feared, like a tiny light in a dark room. I wasn't invisible anymore. The world felt a little less heavy, and I started to believe that things could get better. I started to feel hope. With Chloe by my side, I realized that even the smallest act of kindness can change everything. The whispers didn't stop overnight, but with Chloe, they mattered less. I held my head higher. I focused on classes and our friendship. We joined the school newspaper together. It felt good to belong somewhere. School wasn't so scary anymore. Jake? Sometimes I see him looking at me, but he never says anything. It still stings, but I'm okay. Maybe he was scared too. High school is a roller coaster. I'm still learning, still growing, but I feel stronger now. Chloe is enough. The sun feels warmer. I think I'm going to be all right.